When I was a kid, I made my very own superhero. But today, I'm going to turn him into the foundation of an entire universe. But to understand how we got here, we need to go back in time.
The Burning Showman! With your host, Aiden Zero!
Picture this. You're a little kid. You're in the movie theater with your mom and your siblings. You've got your soda made from all the flavors of the fountain. Your buttered popcorn. Amazing and crispy and crunchy. And as the theater goes dark, you see the masterpiece known as Captain Underpants for the very first time. It's an amazing film. It makes you laugh. It makes you feel. But something from it sticks with you more than anything else. Something that haunts you and influences you to this day. In the film Captain Underpants, a huge part of the story is that George Beard and Harold Hutchins make comic books together about their own superhero. They make up Captain Underpants, obviously, with their own original villains and plots and such. Up to this point, I never really considered that to be a thing I could just do whenever I wanted. I was no stranger to giving my plushes their own names or personalities, or making original stories of my toys. But to make a character from nothing and to give it life onto a page, that didn't seem possible up until that film. So, I got home and I started drawing and writing and designing until I came up with the perfect superhero for a kid my age. Someone who I thought could rival characters like Batman or Superman as the next great superhero. Captain Kidd. An 8-year-old with immeasurable strength, speed, flight, and who's basically indestructible. He came to Earth in a rocket from the planet Youngtopia, where everyone is Kid forever, which was destroyed by the evil space pirates known as Brainstorm. Captain Kidd was raised by two parents, and he eventually realized he was an alien, and he realized that he would be forever 8 years old. However, he decided to use his powers to go out into the world and stop crime. That is, until the evil Dr. Zapper came around, and Captain Kidd had to beat him up. And that's all I wrote. That's all I wrote for his origin, at least. Now, as a kid, I thought this was peak fiction. I thought I was like the next Stan Lee. But as we can see, there's a lot that needs fixing. His backstory is just Superman's. His powers are just Superman's. A lot of the stuff that could have been really cool overall just wasn't fleshed out. Especially the whole kid thing. So now, it's up to me, in the modern day, to completely rework this. So, first problem is the backstory. I think we can do far better than just stealing Clark Kent's life story. His real name is Gregory Prince, and he was an orphan adopted into a large family in New York. Not just the city anymore. And since this is inspired by the golden age of comics, I think he should debut in the 1940s. Since he'll be 8 years old forever, he's basically going to be around forever. So he could have debuted at any time period I wanted. He debuted as the first ever superhero in this universe. Ever! I think this fits since he was also my first superhero. Another change to make is his powers. I think he should still have super strength and super speed, but instead of just flight in general, how about air manipulation? He can store massive amounts of air and push it back out to fly or to knock you over. And why is he indestructible? Well, he has a regen factor that's so fast, basically nothing can pierce his skin. It just heals too quick. This lets him still feel pain and get hurt to make stories interesting. It'd be really boring if literally nothing could hurt him. And why is he 8 years old forever? That's just due to his DNA. His regen factor is so fast that once he hits 8 years old, his powers get to their peak, but it just keeps him at that age. He doesn't keep on getting much stronger. That's just how his body will always regenerate him as, no matter what. Speaking of this, his stories. The OG Captain Kidd comics were always just about him having to beat up a bad guy. I don't think that formula works as well with how powerful he is, especially with the whole, unkillable thing. I think what we ought to focus on is the kid part of Captain Kidd. He's 8 years old forever. He'll outlive
every fragile, insignificant being on this planet. You'll live to see this.
Bah! And because he doesn't even know where his home planet is, he truly is alone. So I think his stories should be about him trying to do the right thing and trying to save as many people as possible, not just beating the bad guy. As I said before, he was the first ever superhero. So that means he's respected as a hero and everyone looks up to him. But not many people take him seriously as a person. After all, he's an 8-year-old. He'll always stand out and seem more immature than he actually is, even if he's saying mature stuff. He will never be able to ride the big rides. But it should also be a happy story, you know? He's got friends and he wouldn't trade his current life for anything. He's meant to be, the good old-fashioned good guy. He's willing to give up parts of his life, like dating or, drinking, to be able to be a good person and save the day. Now for his design, it's way too simple. It shouldn't be crazy detailed, but I want to add some cool stuff, such as emphasis on his Golden Age roots and his alien and wind stuff. I liked the blue and white from before, so I added some more shades of blue to make it a little more varied. And I took inspiration from specifically Robin's original costume, the X-Men costumes, and Blue Beetle especially. And without ado, here he is.
Captain Kidd, the youth of yesterday!
But every hero is only as great as their villain. So meet Dr. Zapper. Dr. Zapper was a warlord on his own planet who did what he did because
I like order, and I love it!
The power to shoot lightning or to just turn into it. He's worse than Genghis Khan, worse than Vlad the Impaler, worse than that guy who farted on the subway. So, Dr. Zapper's entire planet had to work together and ended up achieving world peace just to send him away. So they killed him and sent his body to space. And for them, that was the end of Dr. Zapper. But he was found by Brainstorm, who granted him a second chance at life. They had been watching him, and they respected him so much, he was brought back to life by them. As the new powerhouse of the Brainstorm Pirates, he is now a zombie space pirate warlord that goes to Earth to cause as much carnage as possible. Why? Because he was strong on his old planet, sure. But compared to, them, Earth is made of paper. It's fun. He helps the pirates steal food and water and other resources from other planets, and in return, they let him just go to Earth and just do whatever he wants. Even when Captain Kidd inevitably beats him, he's just beamed back up, where he'll be repaired and brought back again for the cycle to continue. The everlasting battle between eternal child and the forever rotting corpse of electricity. If 8-year-old Aiden could see me today, he'd say something like, "Holy balls, man, why are you so tall?" And then he'd say "Wow, this is what Captain Kidd could have been the whole time? This is awesome." And I have to agree with little Aiden. It's incredible to see how far Captain Kidd has gone. From a silly childhood comic to something that can really stand on its own. But remember, this is just the start of this universe. This isn't the last time you'll be seeing Captain Kidd. Not nearly the last time. So subscribe, and comment any and all ideas below. There are no bad ones. See ya, and goodbye.